Hey guys, it's Mike again, coming at y'all with something that I love to hate, and that is the MT82. Man, I had a 2011 Mustang with the MT82, and I tried to give it a second chance after I heard about all the great improvements, but after all that, I hate to report, it's still just not that great of a transmission. And I'm gonna kind of tell y'all why, without having to do all the little research and all the other dumb stuff, okay? And not based on what internet trolls tell you. It's not because it's made in China. You and I know damn well we had some great stuff come from China. China can make some good stuff. Getrag has made some great transmissions. It's just a poor freaking design. Very poor design. And you would think that after years and years of experience that they could get a manual transmission right. One of the most simple transmissions to make is a manual. You would think they could get it right, but they blew it. Okay? I've had Getrags in my European cars. They were fine. They weren't this noisy. So for people who've never driven one, let me just go over some of the things that make it a crappy transmission. Okay, one of them being shifter feel. The shifter feel on this car is terrible. It's a remote shifter. It hangs off the back of the transmission, and it uses arms to sort of make it a rigid connection and a linkage, which is not the best design for any transmission ever. And also, it's a very noisy transmission. That's why it just kind of adds to the whole thing of, it's just not a very well made transmission. Because I've never driven something that's just as noisy. I don't think I've ever heard a Tremec this noisy. Like, it makes rattles and noises that it just doesn't give you a reassuring feeling. Like, you can have a car, you can have one of these with like 10,000 miles on it, and it's still gonna make these noises. But my last car was much worse. Like, it sounded like it was absolutely broken, even though it wasn't locking me out, which a lot of people do have problems with. It wasn't locking me out, but it was just making just atrocious noises. This one, it does make noises in the lower gears, and it kind of whines just a tad bit, but it's nowhere near as bad. People who are having lockout issues, they tend to try to fix them with like shifter mods and all that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of like putting a band-aid on the problem. What the real issue is, and it's just a poorly engineered transmission overall. That's the best way to put it. They have people out there that build stage 2, stage 3 transmissions that kind of help beef them up a little bit, but even though they are able to beef them up and kind of put better parts inside of them, it's still, you're still having to work with a overall bad design, which is the primary problem. You're having to work with a bad design. So they can make it handle 800, 900 horses, but you're still gonna have those still inherent characteristics of the transmission. I myself have even talked to Ben Caliber to see what could be done for one of these, and because I was thinking about getting one of my other transmissions rebuilt, but after talking to him, I just don't think it would have really been worth it unless I just had a broken transmission. And that was kind of what he was pretty much saying to me, was that it could come back a lot better, but for the money, it probably wouldn't be worth it unless I just had a broke transmission, which I haven't gotten to that point yet of breaking really any of my MT82s just yet. Not to say it can't happen. I don't really beat on my cars as bad as some other people, but I have my days. Where this transmission gets a thorough working out. But it's trying to see if there's anything else. This transmission does not like the cold. It grinds a lot in cold weather. It's kind of real notchy in cold. People do fluid swaps, which help to some degree. I've done a fluid swap before myself, and it helped to a certain degree. It's not just a permanent fix, I would say, to that problem. but it makes it a lot better. It makes it a lot more livable. But like I said, I got upcoming plans to put a Barton shifter on the car, see how that improves the shifter feel. A little bit more sound deadening to try to mask some of the training noises that I'm getting. But you know, you just something you have to live with, and you know, you just either you can, you know, you get used to it or you don't. You know, some people just can't deal with it, and sometimes people even end up getting rid of their cars simply because of the transmission. But if I had issues where I was just getting locked out of gears and stuff, no, of course I wouldn't want to deal with that either. But most of my high RPM shifts, I don't have a problem with them. Just if anything, just me having bad shifts. But I think that I can wrap that video up with that, man. If y'all have questions or comments, man, just put them below. Subscribe to my channel. It's got a lot of things coming our way, whether it be Mustangs or Camaros or other sports cars. I'm gonna try to keep performance oriented, so just stay tuned.